Welcome back, folks, to FlashPoint Weekend Update. Now, I apologize for lack of content this week, mostly because of a family emergency. Had to take care of a few of my younger cousins, and kids are like walking plague, so got sick for like 2 days as well afterwards. Ugh, wonderful week. But on the bright side, there are not that much big news that happened this week. So it's mostly been dry until today. So we got some info about British high-tier heavy tanks changes, as well as the Super Conqueror on the SuperTest server. So that's the big news for this week. But on the North American server, we're currently having the 19th anniversary event to celebrate the anniversary for Wargaming. But it's mostly lackluster, similar to last year's anniversary celebration. But this year we don't get a free tank, no T29 medium, so that's disappointing. I mean, we do have the 3 days of premium time with a bunch of personal reserves for the contact list or the clan list compensation event that ongoing or currently ongoing until a final fix was applied or is going to be applied. So you can use the 5x event with the premium time to gather up a lot of XP, but otherwise it's mostly a lackluster, mediocre event. So take a look on the event page, but scroll down to the bottom. 5x for the first win. This is a special one. 50% gold discount on crew respecialization. This is the first time I think we see this on discount. So this is very good if you have a loader that you want to retrain into a gunner or like crew skill shift or crew position shift. So if you have an extra gunner with a lot of skills, but you don't need a gunner, you want to have a retrain of all the XP into a commander, this is pretty good. I think it costs around 300 gold or 500 gold, but it's pretty hefty for one person, one crew member to be changed. Now it's 50% off, so take a good use of this. So keep in mind, it's the first time that we got this, so make sure you take advantage of it. The rest, average stuff. There's no premium tier 8 on discount in the tech tree for gold, so you cannot buy the Strv S1 that got recently released into the tech tree for gold. So that's kind of disappointing, but taking a look back at last year's anniversary celebration, it's pretty much the same. I mean, last year we don't even have the discount on the vehicles, so it's pretty bland as well, and it's only 3x compared to this year's 5x. But last year we got the T45. I played like 2 rounds for a year. Then I collect dust with this vehicle, but yeah, so pretty mediocre as expected. But I want to point out that last year we got a special event for Gamescom, and with the release of the Romtail Scorpion Waffenträger. So that was the 5x with the tier 8 premium on sale for 15% off, as well as the high tier normal tanks for credits off. So that was the discount, but it's like separated into 2 different events. This happened like a week after, so we could expect another event coming up soon for this year's Gamescom, but who knows? So yeah, don't be discouraged just yet, but still we don't get the T29 medium, so that's disappointing about this year. Oh well. Now here are some miscellaneous stuff that happened this week. So there's a new developer diary episode talking about the rebalancing of the vehicles. So I mean, balancing department is a joke. Like, as with the T29, going back to the previous slide, they just consider the T29 medium to be overpowered out of the blue. Like, suddenly you had like 4 months, 5 months to balance this vehicle, or 3 months, whatever. It's been a long time. Like, it's been in the game files for like 2 patches. Now you just consider it to be overpowered? Why? It's not even overpowered. Sure, based on the initial stats, it's pretty decent with the gun, but you've been sitting on your ass for 4 months doing nothing. Now you consider it's overpowered. So balancing department, what a joke. But they talked about other tanks that buff and nerf or blah blah blah, ISU nerf, stupid crap, whatever. So you can take a look at it. I already looked through the 20-minute episode, but there are a few stuff they did kind of mention were interesting. Like they thought about buffing the grill or changing the grill because they want to change it yet again. So grill is on the chopping block, as well as buffs to the KV5 or IS6 or any of the premium with preferential matchmaking, but they haven't gone into detail, so they promised to change it. Who the hell even know what's gonna happen, so whatever. So I'll take it for the face value, but don't rely on it, don't trust on it. So unless I see solid numbers and solid stats of the changes, yeah, whatever. Also, the STRV-81 is going to be on sale during Gamescom of this year with 2 variations. One's the standard variation, one's the Sabaton. It's a Swedish heavy metal band, but I think it looks like this version of the tank with the Swedish flag painted on the side skirt. But yeah, that's the upcoming premium Tier A vehicle that they hinted in the event list as well. I think they mentioned it in the news page. Blah 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 blah. Don't forget Polish. Also, truly awesome new premium tank here. August 17th also ushers in a truly awesome new premium tank. This is going to be the STRV-81, most likely. So this is for the Gamescom event next week. Alright, so there are rumors of testing removal of team damage in random battle mode. So this is going to be on the sandbox server, but you can no longer damage your teammates. Alright, unless you willingly want to. It's not that big of a deal, in all honest opinion. I mean, it's mostly for artillery to damage your own teammates, because they don't get blued. They don't become blue with a warning that you'll be permabanned or banned for team damage. Artilleries don't get that. So artilleries could constantly shoot high explosive at your own teammates, and they don't become blue. Fix that crap. No, they just fix all the team damage totally. So I don't know, random crap. Also, there's new camo and emblem for the Clan Wars 6th season for the North America server. So pretty awesome, especially for Clan Wars players. Alright, but that's the miscellaneous stuff, mostly. So here's the good stuff. On the SuperTest server, the Caernarvon and the Conqueror received armor buffs, as well as a 32-pounder for the Caernarvon, and the Conqueror got somewhat buffed, somewhat nerfed with the DPM. So DPM got nerfed, but it got armor buff, as well as the turret traverse, but it's mostly the armor, I guess. For the Caernarvon, its U-gun is a 32-pounder, similar to the top gun on the Challenger at tier 7, but this thing reloads at 6 seconds per shot. So that's 10 rounds in a minute, and 10 times 280 is 2,800 DPM. Penetration's not bad, 220 for a tier 8. That's pretty above average for a heavy tank. And gold shell is alright. It's not crazy, but it's workable. But it has 2,800 DPM without a gun rammer and vents. And it has a modified Centurion turret now, so it's thicker. The armor model that we saw during Wargaming Fest like 8 months ago. So yeah, 2,800 DPM. Insane! So here is the new Caernarvon that you saw during the Wargaming Fest with the HD model render. But here is the armor layout. So they buff the turret armor to 250 about, and 273. So the right number is the new value, the left number is the older value. But yeah, this turret has become stronger. So it will bounce a lot more shots than the Action X Centurion turret, of course, but if they're going to buff the Action X Centurion with the Action X Centurion's turret buff, why not buff it on the Caernarvon? But reverts back to the Centurion turret. So you can call this vehicle the Fat Centurion yet again. So now it's a 32 pounder. Alright, on to the Conqueror. It has received the Super Conqueror's extra armor plates on the turret. The applicant armor, similar to the Super Pershing, but yeah. It's only for the turret, not for the upper plate, so it's only applied to the turret, but the upper plate seems to be buffed to 304 millimeters. So they likely buffed this plate from 130 to about 200 millimeters or something, but historically, the Conqueror never had like 200 millimeter upper plate, just doesn't exist. Also, they say that the current value is about 259 for the upper plate. That's total bullshit. So here is the Conqueror. The upper plate is 130, sloped to about 200 millimeters effective. That's not 259, 257, no, not even close. So unless you shoot downwards, or shoot from down into up onto the upper plate, it's still only 240. So shoot from a down perspective, like downward perspective into the upper plate. Yeah, it's better slope, but still nowhere near the 250, 259. Jesus, not even close. So, yep, I don't even know how they got that number, but now it's 304. So I presume they buffed this armor plate to like 200 millimeter, 304 effective, slope backwards. So you have to shoot the lower plate. Also, they buffed the turret cheeks with applicant armor, the additional space armor plates. So high explosive anti-tank from German, and Russian guns are no longer able to penetrate, like how some Jagdpanzer E100s will spam 170mm high explosive anti-tank into your turret cheeks. It will pin, and you're like, fudge you. You spam gold in Jagdpanzer E100. You scrub. But that's the point. So, alright, but that's the Conqueror. So on the Super Test, there's a Super Conqueror with improved L1A1 120, so a little bit better gun handling, and they added a additional plate to the upper plate, so it's 152 for the upper plate. But based on the math, 152 will not equal to 300mm effective. No, it's not even close. It could be like 250, but this will not reach 300mm. So it has weaker plate than the Conqueror buff? I don't know, but it still has a space armor for the upper plate and space armor for the turret. But yeah, that's kind of weird how they said that there's going to be 304mm effective for the upper plate. It's the same hull, presumably. So the only difference is the upper plate with the space armor, and that's it. But I mean, if this is 300mm effective, space armor is just superfluous. You don't even need it. Or against high explosive anti-tank shells, but still, holy crap, that's thick. Real thick. But otherwise, this vehicle should have a better L1A1 120 and more health, obviously. And that's pretty much it. Same top speed, same reverse speed. I presume the same engine, but it's going to be tier 10 and maybe a possible replacement for the FE25B. But why not just add this vehicle as a alternative upgrade for the Conqueror? Like you can buy or unlock a package of armor upgrade similar to Armor Warfare, where you upgrade the vehicle with additional armor plates, and then you research the FE25B from the Conqueror, or you research the Chieftain, or both. But yeah. Speaking about the Super Conqueror, we have a few new skin mods. The Hombres has a very awesome looking Super Conqueror for the normal Conqueror. The space armor plates doesn't do anything. It's not even there, so it's only for cosmetics, appearances only. But hey, it looks pretty nice. And the Super Conqueror did actually exist, alright? So it's not a made-up tank. It's like the Super Pershing. It's not made up. It has been built, but not in mass. Not in mass, but it existed. Milkyman has a few new skins for the T95E2 and the patent, so looks pretty awesome. I think he took the resources from the test server and converted with his gum mantlet cloth thing, so encasements. Pretty awesome looking, and he does a few stuff with the rest of the textures and other stuff and mesh, so pretty awesome looking. There are a few more Game of Thrones skins, so if you like Game of Thrones, here are 2 new skins. So I like the crossover event, I guess, but yeah, pretty awesome. So for this week, mostly relatively dry, so not that much news, not that much question from last week's video, so nothing to answer, I guess. But 9.20 should be out in about a week to 2 weeks, or a week and a half, but it's usually on a Wednesday or Tuesday night for most patches. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the rebalancing, but there are a few vehicles that haven't been touched, like the IS-6, KV5, for example, T32, T34-2. So yeah, it's like a half of a patch, and we're waiting for the 9.20.1, the second half. But hey, we got the 30 versus 30 and the bonds for tier 10 battles, so I guess that's okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's Flashpoint. So this week's question is, what's preventing World of Tanks from becoming more successful to the levels of League of Legends? So why isn't there a lot of people playing World of Tanks compared to League of Legends, in your honest opinion? So in my opinion, it's mostly the outreach from the developers or parts of the development team towards the community. For example, Blizzard and Riot have a lot of those community managers that really interact with their community, as like a lot of the streams, a lot of the giveaways or events. They openly contact the community contributors or any part of the community. Go to the Reddit, go to their forums, go to wherever events, and they try to promote the game and try to outreach as often as they possibly can. So I think Wargaming should step up with their outreach program, but that's just my honest opinion, as well as the balancing department. Oh god, balance, what a joke. So let me know in the comments below. But that's it for Flashpoint for this week. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.